recorded live in Jacksonville, Florida. This is Trivial Warfare. More than just a pub quiz, Trivial Warfare is your gateway to a worldwide trivia community. Join your hosts, Jonathan.
We just described Ric Flair as Neanderthal Man and Planet of the Apes.
Chris.
Yo, we going down to Sesame Street.
That's your impression of hardcore rap?
Carmela.
That would irritate the hell out. I'm like, I just want my groceries. My ice cream is melting.
Ben.
4 halogens in that list. Oh my god.
You were like, it's not the halogens. I'm like, no, Ben, no.
Those damn halogens got me again.
And the rest of the Trivial Warfare Army for another week of fun and games. Now here's your host, Jonathan Oakes.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Trivial Warfare. We are the podcast that takes the pub quiz out of the pub and brings it home to you. My name is Jonathan, and I am here today with Carmela Smith. Hello, Carmela.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
I am here with Chris Hollister. Hello, Chris.
Hey, man. How's it going today?
Hey, man. I am doing good.
All right.
We have 2 awesome guests today.
Yes, we do.
Philip Sanford's with us. Hello, Philip.
Hello, Jonathan.
Welcome back. Good to have you.
Good to be here.
And we are rejoined by Adam Freed. Hello, Adam.
Hello. How's it going?
Adam, I remember the last time you were on, you beat me. I feel like I remember that, or I felt like you were better than me. I remember that too.
That might have happened.
Yeah. I'm scared. I just
come on, repeat performance.
Yeah, right. So Adam, let's start with you. To remind everybody where you're from, what you do, and tell us something fun about yourself.
Sure. My name is Adam. I'm originally from the great city of Boston, Massachusetts.
Ah, yes.
And I currently live in Boston, Massachusetts.
That was a good move. That was a good choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am a high school math teacher, and over the years, I've been working my way through all of the Major League Baseball ballparks. So got a bunch of them down. I was planning on going to some more this summer. That's not happening. So maybe next year. I think I've hit like 28 parks.
Whoa. Do you know which ones you haven't done yet?
Awesome. Yeah, I need to go to Houston and the ballpark at Arlington for the Rangers. I got to go to St. Louis and Kansas City, and then Miami.
Oh, very cool. Did you manage to hit the Astrodome before it closed?
I didn't. I've actually never set foot in Texas.
Oh, wow.
I know. So I'm going to make a whole thing of it.
The ballpark in Arlington is great. I've been there. It's gorgeous.
But now there's going to be a new ballpark at Arlington that is supposed to open this year.
It's true.
Well, then you're screwed. You'll never get it.
I know.
Never gonna get it. Never gonna get it. All right. Well, we're glad you're here, man. Philip, remind everybody where you're from, what you do, and something fun about yourself.
Yes, I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina. I've been here since 2008, so it'll be 12 years this summer. I work in like, it's tough job to describe, but for a large payroll and HR outsourcing firm. And in my spare time, I do a lot of different volunteer work with different charities and nonprofits that have to do with running. And I'm trying to start my own running coaching business on the side here as well. I got my Roadrunners Club certification in the fall. Very cool. And you have some big life changes happening literally just recently and upcoming recently. Yes. So I just moved. So this is my first time taping in my townhouse, my new townhouse. Actually, I just came from my condo that I'm about to put on the market. We're doing some repairs there with one of my neighbors, and right before I logged on here. And then also right now I was supposed to be married right now, but thanks to all the COVID-19 travel restrictions and our very small wedding which was just going to be family only, we couldn't have because family couldn't travel to us. So I'm going to be getting married in July. Congratulations. That's super exciting. Awesome. We're really happy for you. Thank you. Absolutely. All right. So, guys, we're going to get today started with something that we like to call, hey, Chris, what do we call it?
Warming up Jonathan.
Okay.
It's time to warm it up on Trivial Warfare today. And there's only one person who can warm it up for the TWA, and that's Chris. And sometimes Jonathan.
So, Warm It Up Chris is the name. Thank you very much. I went out and I found a list of the cartoons with the most seasons produced. Okay?
Oh,
So I have a list of cartoons ranked by number of seasons. I can tell you that this is from digitalspy.com. It was originally put out on the internet in 2016. I went in to the shows that it had listed as being still ongoing and double-checked to see if they were still ongoing or not, and added seasons where appropriate because it was a little bit of an older list. If anything moved up past the bottom shows on the list, that you'll be able to prove me wrong on that. But I thought it looked fun, and I can tell you also that these are seasons on American television from what I can tell. So if there are shows from Japan or other international shows that have gone for 20 seasons or so, they may not be on the list. There are some shows that originated in Japan that have had X number of American seasons, but that's what appears to be the basis for this. There are 16 shows on the list. And Philip, we'll start with you.
All right, I will go with the easy way out and say The Simpsons.
The Simpsons, number one with a bullet. They are on season 31.
Oof.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
Who would have thought? I was there in 1989, and I remember not ever thinking to myself, this is going to be a cultural touchstone for the rest of my generation.
For context, I am 32.
You are 1 year older than Bart.
I was going to say, my nephews have never known a world that the Simpsons are not a part of it.
Wow.
That's just weird.
Yeah. All right. Adam, you're next.
All right. I think Family Guy has been around for a while.
Family Guy is currently on its 18th season. It is on the list. Good job. Carmela.
I've described the course of this show's timeline as I wasn't allowed to watch it. I watch it, and I no longer want to watch it. I'm going to say South Park.
Yep.
South Park is correct with 23 seasons and still ongoing.
All right.
Chris.
Yes. I'm trying to think here because everybody took every answer that I had so far. So I appreciate that about y'all. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Let's see. I'm going to say Pokemon.
With 23 seasons starting in 1997 and still going today, Pokemon is a correct answer. It was third on the list, tied with South Park. Well, it's tied for second, actually. All right, back over to Phil. Ip. I'm sorry, Philip.
No, hey, trust me. Like I said, I'll definitely respond to Phil without a doubt. I will go with the other Matt Groening show, Futurama.
Futurama was not on the list. Is it on? Is it still ongoing today?
No, it's not.
So the lowest shows on this list had 9 seasons. When this list came out, it was not on the list, and it was 2016. So maybe it got up there, but it wasn't on.
No, it was on 2016.
Okay.
It probably capped out at 6 or 7.
Okay.
All right.
I didn't realize there had so many that had that many seasons in it.
Wow.
So.
Adam.
Yeah, I'm now terrified about that 9-season threshold. But let's go with I don't know, the best show about propane. Let's go with King of the Hill.
I sell propane and propane accessories. King of the Hill is on the list. It is... Where the hell did it go? Hold on. There it is. 13 seasons from 1997 to 2010. Carmela, you're up.
Let's try Dragon Ball Z.
With 9 seasons, Dragon Ball Z is on the list.
Man, only 9. That surprises me. I thought there was more than that. It felt like there was more than that.
Yeah, and
but you have to think that one jog down the light path took about 12 episodes.
They had to charge up during every battle for another 18 or so.
Using up too much energy. Chris, you're up.
I'm going to say another Seth MacFarlane show, American Dad.
American Dad, 17 seasons, 2005 to present. It's still going.
Yeah, when I worked on the sitcom bracket, I saw that showed up, and I was like, what the bleep is that all about?
I couldn't believe it when I saw how many seasons it had.
Yeah.
Okay, out of the list so far, you've named number 1, number 2, number 3, number 5, number 6, number 8, and one of the last ones. So there's still a bunch on the back end, and there's one in the number 4 show you haven't named. Philip, you're up.
I will go with SpongeBob SquarePants.
SpongeBob SquarePants, with 12 seasons, ending in 2018, is a correct answer.
It ended? Wow, I thought it was still going.
If they haven't put out a new episode since 2018, we can say it like that.
No, I think they've been moving to movies now because I think their next movie is supposed to come out pretty soon.
Adam,
this one's like changed its name a few times, so I don't know if they'll all be lumped together. But I'm going to go with Archer.
Archer is not on the list. Is it still active though? It might have creeped up past 9 if it's still active.
It is. I think it's on season 7 though.
Okay.
If 9 is the threshold.
They take a lot of breaks between seasons.
Yeah.
No, actually, hold on. Archer season 11 premiere date pushed at FXX due to coronavirus. So I'm going to say yes, it's a correct answer.
Oh,
yeah,
vindication.
good seasons. So
it has at least 10.
I'm shocked. I am shocked.
That's an off the list special. Good job, Adam.
Oh yeah.
Carmela.
I don't know. Let's try another H. John Benjamin. Let's say Bob's Burgers.
Bob's Burgers was not on the original list, but there's a chance there. Let's see. Bob's Burgers.
So what you're saying is she has a chance.
She has a chance. 10 seasons, Bob's Burgers. It started in 2011. Wow. Good job, Carmela. We've added 2 to the list. That's beautiful. All right, Chris.
I'm going to go with an outside the box one here just because the new movie came out. I'm going to say Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo not on the list.
Okay.
But I'm betting I'm assuming that it's because there were 3 or 4 different Scooby-Doo shows.
Yeah, you combine all the different variations.
Right, like Scooby-Doo Where Are You was a show. You had the Scooby and Shaggy, you had the Scrappy one, and all the rest. Anyway. All right, you want to go one more time around?
Sure.
All right,
I love it.
Philip, you're up. Number 4 is still sitting out there.
Yeah, I thought that's where SpongeBob was going to be in that number 4 spot.
So I'll give you a hint. Most of the ones remaining on this list are not currently active, so you might think older.
What about Doug?
Doug is not on the list, but I like where your brain's at.
Yeah, I was thinking that too because it moved over to ABC and then continued its run for a bit.
All right, Adam.
I'm gonna stick with the same idea and go with Rugrats.
Rugrats. 9 seasons. It is on the list. Good job.
Nice.
Carmela.
I don't know. Wow. I'm trying to get up to 9 seasons. I don't know. Does Blue's Clues count?
Blue's Clues not on my list. Not on my list.
There's animation. It's
there is animation. I don't know how many seasons it has.
There's one real person in the whole thing.
All right, Chris, your last answer.
Oh, man.
There is something blue on this list, though.
Is Jonathan trying to sucker me into going to the Smurfs?
Probably.
Yeah, but I didn't think the Smurfs lasted that long. Transformers only did about 4 or 5 seasons. All right, I'm bending into peer pressure and saying the Smurfs.
With 9 seasons, the Smurfs are on the list.
Wow, 9 seasons.
Yes.
That surprises me. Jeez.
All right, here was the list. Now, you guys did add some, but the original list that we started with, Simpsons, 31 seasons. South Park, 23 seasons. Pokemon, 23 seasons. When I looked at the list of seasons, it looked like every season of Pokemon had a name. Is it like a different show every season?
Not necessarily. It corresponds to whatever game is out. So it's like Sun and Moon or Black and White. And
I was going to say it's like a chapter in a book.
Such a great way to sell merchandise by doing that way. Oh my gosh. We've put out a new version of the game for you to have to buy to watch the show and understand.
Nintendo knows what they're doing.
I mean, that is brilliant marketing, y'all. Okay, number 4, nobody got. Philip came closest. Who's your favorite aardvark?
Oh, Arthur.
Arthur
Wow.
with 23 seasons. Arthur. Family Guy had 18. American Dad had 17. The Bugs Bunny and Tweety Show from 1986 to 2000 with 14 seasons.
Wow.
King of the Hill had 13. SpongeBob had 12. Aqua Teen Hunger Force had 11 seasons from 2000
Oh,
to
wow. It was on that
2015.
long? Wow.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from 87 to 96 had 10 seasons.
Oh, I was wondering
Wow.
because there'd been so many variations if it was going to fall into the same trap as Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, that one,
But
I think
I
that
didn't
was
realize
the
original
though.
run was that long.
Yep. Space Ghost Coast to Coast with 10 seasons from 1994 until 2008. So they spread them out. The Fairly Odd Parents with 10 seasons from 2001 until 2017.
That's
Rug-
a
Love
cute
that
show.
show.
Yeah.
Rugrats with 9. Dragon Ball Z with 9. And the Smurfs with 9. And that
Wow.
was, I almost said complete the list.
Wrong show, Jonathan.
I
Wrong
love
show.
you. I love you,
What's up,
Andy.
Andy?
Love you, Andy. And that was your Warm It Up, Chris, for the episode. Great job, everybody.
That was fun, man. Thank you for doing that.
Absolutely. So this is episode number 274. 274. And this is your second episode this month. If you want to get 4 episodes per month, you need to be a patron over on Patreon. Go to trivialwarfarearmy.com to sign up, and you will get 2 bonus episodes. Actually, you'll get a bonus episode every other week. Also, worth noting, there is a new store with Trivial Warfare gear and Oaks Media Group gear. It is at oaksmediastore.com. So if you want to get a t-shirt or a mug or even a sticker, head over to oaksmediastore.com, and I'll be adding things to that store as the months go on. All right, today's matchup, it is Carmela and Adam versus Jonathan and Philip. Chris is hosting, and it's time to play the game.
Players. Oh, yeah. Y'all know what time it is. This is Mr. Literature himself, cordially inviting you to the game. This is 6 rounds of trivia goodness. 3 questions per round. Every right answer gets you 10 points. In the middle, we'll take a pause for the cause and ask a midpoint question worth up to 20 juicy points. After round 6, you can wager any or all those points you've been building up and take a shot at the final round. It's a series of theme-based questions we call the Gauntlet. It's just that easy, baby. But this game ain't gonna play itself, players. Let's get it on.
All right, Chris, take it away.
Round 1, question 1 category is English is a strange language. Your question is, according to Merriam-Webster's dictionary, what 6-letter word is the only word without a prefix in the English language to end in the letters MT? And again, according to Merriam-Webster's dictionary, what 6-letter word is the only word without a prefix in the English language to end the letters with the letters MT? So again, you can add a prefix to it, but that's not what I'm looking for.
Actually, you can't add a prefix to it, otherwise it's a wrong answer.
We're locked in.
Okay.
Philip, I'm pretty sure it's dreamt.
Yeah, I agree with that, Jonathan.
All right, we're going to say dreamt.
Okay. And Carmel and Adam.
We also said dreamt.
Okay. And the answer is dreamt. Well done, everybody.
Good
All
start.
right. I was thinking the same thing because the worst thing as a host is when you start the game and everybody gets it wrong. It's not fun. So your round, I'm just saying, it's true though. It's dang
It's
true.
also, the worst thing is probably when you look to find your questions and they're not there. It's like, oh no.
Yeah,
Oh, that's true.
I have that fear every single time I come over to host.
I believe it.
I'm like, check like 3 times. Like, all right, it's in my phone or it's on my tablet. I'm like, all right, let's go.
Did I upload it to Drive or Dropbox or wherever? Better be there.
100%. 100%. All right. Your question 2 category in round 1 is location, location, location. And the question is, the Mountain Lake Lodge in Pembroke, Virginia gained popularity after what 1987 movie was filmed there? Again, the question, the Mountain Lake Lodge in Pembroke, Virginia gained popularity after what 1987 movie was filmed there?
We're locked in.
Excellent.
So my first question to Philip was about The Shining. I know it was called like the Overlook something, but Philip, you said that was earlier?
Yes, that's correct. It was earlier than 87.
And you feel 85% is a pretty strong feeling. Why don't you say what you're thinking?
Yeah, so I went with a movie that was based at a in a resort type setting in the mountains on a lake, and I said, and this is what we're locked in with is Dirty Dancing.
We're going with it.
Okay. All right, Carmela and Adam.
Ooh, that's a good answer. We we stuck in the horror route. We did discuss The Shining, but I believe that was filmed in the 70s. But we ended up going with Friday the 13th.
Yeah, I thought about that one too.
But I like Dirty Dancing a lot more.
That's a good answer. God, that's a good answer.
Let's see if it's right.
All right. Well, they had the time of their lives. It was Dirty Dancing.
Philip, great job.
Nice pull.
I heard Lake, and I was thinking about that ending scene from Friday the 13th where he pulls him in the water.
And we just never got away from horror, which, I mean, Dirty Dancing kind of fits with that, right? So.
Adam.
I mean, so Philip said maybe Dirty Dancing, and I started saying reasons why I didn't think that would fit. And I'm like, I mean, mountain lake lodge, it's got to be in the mountains and a lake. And he's like, Jonathan, Dirty Dancing was on a lake in the mountains. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's supposed to take place up in the Catskills.
Yeah. So, all right. Your third question in round one is in animals. I know I don't have a really creative category for it, so sorry about that. I'm not Carmela. What can I do? All right. Your question is, name the animal that has the ability to extend its tongue over 2 feet beyond its mouth to allow it to eat its prey. Again, the question is, name the animal that has the ability to extend its tongue over 2 feet beyond its mouth to allow it to eat its prey.
All right. We're going to go ahead and lock in.
Okay. Carmela and Adam, you can talk it out.
Be hilarious if you called leaves prey, though. Those sneaky leaves. All right, so we are talking about chameleon, anteaters. We put out giraffe. For chameleons, I mean, yes, they have super long, stretchy tongues that they shoot out, but I don't think that they're that big.
Yeah,
I think like a chameleon is probably the size of my laptop, but anteaters.
They got to get down into the.
They got to get down to the
business.
Their tongues are super flexible because they can get into all the different tunnels and into the tree barks or wherever it is that they're eating. I feel better about that than I do chameleon.
Yeah. I mean, just like the size wise, right? And the scale of a 2-foot tongue on an anteater seems more reasonable than a 2-foot tongue on a chameleon.
Right. Yeah. Just for them just being bigger animals.
Well, I was going to ask, like with the anteaters, they have a really long snout as well. So I don't know how much is like snout getting into anthills versus tongue, but I'm good with it.
All right, you want to go with anteater?
Yeah, let's do anteater.
All right, let's try anteater.
All right, Jonathan and Philip.
We also went with anteater, and the explanation I was going to give, Carmela already covered.
It's funny to think about the junk in their trunk is all tongue. Inside that snout is just full of tongue.
All right. Well, the answer is, whoa, here she comes. Watch out. She's an anteater.
Do you want to know where I learned about their tongues?
Oh,
yes. Sure. I'm intrigued.
There's a YouTuber named Zay Frank, and he does a series of things called True Facts, where he does kind of a Morgan Freeman impression and goes through all the different things. They're a little short, like 5-10, less than 10-minute videos, but they're super funny, but they're also really informative. And he does a whole one about different kinds of anteaters. So that's why that stuck out to me. Because they actually showed footage of their tongue moving into the different places in the tunnels, and it's super freaky.
Wow.
That's neat.
I really thought, as I got older, I thought that I was going to age out to the point where it's like the new different types of media. I wasn't going to be able to get in on it. I was just going to be too old. But I got to tell you, man, YouTubers and TikTokers and the rest of them, it's good. There's some good stuff out there. More power to you.
I live on YouTube. I mean...
Love it.
It's replaced normal television for me.
I think it's great.
All right. Well, after round one, Philip and Jonathan are slightly in the lead, 30-20 over Carmela and Adam. And your first question in round two is in music or music. Thank you. And your question is, what popular pop and R&B singer has a 5-octave range, which is 2 octaves higher than a normal soprano?
We're locked in.
Okay.
Yeah, Philip, he's got to be looking for Mariah Carey.
I like that answer, Jonathan.
All right, we're gonna lock in Mariah Carey.
Okay. And Carmela and Carmela and Adam.
We went with Mimi, Mariah Carey.
All right. And just to put it in perspective, Whitney Houston has a 3-octave range, but Mariah Carey has the 5-octave range. Yep. You both are correct.
Awesome.
Well done. Your next question in round 2 is in food.
Ooh.
Not love, but just food.
Food.
All right.
Duh.
Fair. Are you good? Are you good?
I love food.
Are you sure you're good?
All
right.
You know what I really want right now? So you know I'm working on losing weight and I'm doing good. I really want a Chicago style pizza.
Oh, you want Giordano's.
I want it so much.
Do they not sell just like giant cans of tomato sauce down there? Is that not?
Up. You're a horrible person. Stay in Boston.
It's great because what Adam's saying is probably the same thing that my teammate Dan Lundberg will say. Dan he hates like Chicago cuisine.
That's why you can't have nice things.
That's right. All right. So your food question is: fair trade is an arrangement designed to help producers in developing countries achieve sustainable and equitable trade relationships. What ice cream maker began using fair trade goods for its ingredients and its products in 2005?
Hey, Chris, we're going to lock in.
All right. So Carmela and Adam, talk it out.
Yeah, Adam, they've been pretty progressive in their manufacturing for a long time. So, yeah, we think Ben & Jerry's is the right way to go. So Ben & Jerry's.
Yep.
All right. Philip and Jonathan.
We also locked in with Ben & Jerry's just because of what Carmela said.
One of my life's dreams, a list of unattainable goals. One of my life's dreams is to have a Ben & Jerry's flavor named after me.
What would be in it?
That's a good question.
For
me, it would almost be like a white. Think about a white chocolate macadamia nut cookie. It'd be a play off of that. I love those.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And it could be called Joker's Wild.
Well, that's not bad.
That's pretty good. Mm-hmm. While we've been kind of like all locked in our houses, I had like weird cravings for Ben & Jerry's fish food.
Oh,
just so I can have the marshmallow that's in it.
I don't know if I've ever seen that. What's in it?
It's like chocolate ice cream, and it's got little chocolate fish in it, and then it's got swirls of like caramel and like marshmallow fluff. Wow. And it's so good.
Wow, that is creative.
All right.
And of course, the same for the band Fish.
Huh.
So it's PHISH food. Yes. All right. Well, the answer, as everybody talked about, is in fact Ben & Jerry's. 12-year-old Chris was actually fortunate enough to go to the Ben & Jerry's factory in Vermont.
Wow.
And it is fantastic because free samples, baby.
Oh yeah. and they got they have a flavor graveyard up there with like tombstones designed like all of their old retired flavors.
That's pretty funny.
Do they call it a flaveyard?
I think they call it a flavor graveyard, actually. But no, they did not have that when I was there because it was still a fairly young company at that point in time, because that was 1986, to show you how old I am. So, all right, your last category in round 2 is a category I like to call He Said What?
What?
Serial killer Gary Gilmore inspired what shoe company with his last words before being executed by firing squad in 1977?
Do you want the last words or do you want the company?
I want the company, please. Because again, serial killer Gary Gilmore inspired what shoe company with his last words before being executed by a firing squad in 1977?
We're locked in.
Okay.
Philip, I assume he said just do it. So that would be Nike.
I haven't heard this before.
Is there something else you're thinking of? I mean, are there other famous catchphrases that would make sense? Like that famous Reebok catchphrase, "We don't have one"? I don't know if I don't even know of other catchphrases, honestly.
That's terrible marketing. That famous catchphrase, "We don't have one."
He softly whispered, "Heads."
That would have been really creepy.
Oh.
No, I mean, I can't think of any other. I mean, that'd be a crazy fact. I can't come up with anything else, Jonathan.
I think it's Nike.
I'll stick with you.
Yeah, let's do Nike. We're locked in.
As I learned on a WatchMojo.com YouTube video, his last words were, "Let's do it." And so Nike took that inspiration and said, "Just do it." Nike.
Well, Carmela blew my flavor text. The answer is Nike. Well done.
Flavor text gone.
Hey, that's okay.
It was very tasty.
All right. I'm happy to hear that. All right. So after 2 rounds, again, continues to stay tight. Philip and Jonathan, 60 points. Carmel and Adam, 50 points. Let's see what round 3 does for everybody. Your first question in round 3 is in money, 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 money. Jonathan?
Money.
Thank you. You always can hit that note higher than I, or better than I can. And your question is, what McDonald's loving billionaire made a reported $1.5 million per hour in 2013? Again, the question is, what McDonald's loving billionaire made a reported $1.5 million per hour in 2013? I want to know what's going on in those conversations, Carmela, because you're just snickering.
It's out of uncomfortableness, I can tell you that.
Okay.
She's trying to figure out if the orange one is a billionaire. I'm guessing. I don't know. I'm not in the conversation. Philip, that's fine with me if you want to do that one.
Okay, Chris, we're going to lock in.
All right.
All right. So, yes, Jonathan was correct. We're trying to figure out if Trump is a billionaire. He says he's a billionaire, but there is some debate on whether he actually is.
He's 6'3".
Yeah, well, you know, he says a lot of things that are alternative in the factual category.
I feel like we're going to be profiling a lot of billionaires right now because, like, which billionaire would like McDonald's?
Yeah, so we're like the Koch brothers or Bill Gates or Jeff Bezos, and I'm like, only one of these people has a photo of him just in front of a spread of McDonald's.
I know that Warren Buffett, I believe, like, lives in a relatively small house and sort of lives kind of modestly. I think that's true. I feel like I heard a round of trivia where the questions were, is this Warren Buffett or Jimmy Buffett? And for a lot of them, it was remarkably hard to tell the difference. And, you know, I could see him getting down with a McRib or something.
But he's a big fan of buffets.
It's true.
Buffett, yeah.
I don't know if Bezos would have been making that much money 7 years ago. I think Bill Gates probably wouldn't necessarily support McDonald's, or
I can't see that either, considering his work with global warming or global climate change, and they're heavy in the beef industry. So I just keep coming back to that damn picture.
I know. But I wonder also, that one is just a fan of all sorts of fast food. I don't know if McDonald's is specific enough or not that. Yeah, I don't know.
I get that. My fear is that if we don't go with him and it ends up being him, I'm gonna feel super stupid.
Well,
but the other part of me is like, I don't want to answer him because and he's not actually a billionaire.
I'm right there with you as well. I don't really want to, actually answer that. I feel like I'm willing
protest
to
answer.
I know. I feel like I'm
when
willing
trivia
to be wrong
and politics
to not
meet.
Politics doesn't occur in a bubble. Neither does trivia.
And I started trying to do some math on this and like figuring out, $1.5 million an hour is like, if it's an 8-hour workday, which, I think if you're a billionaire, you have a 0-hour workday.
True. Which
I suppose creates kind of a paradox here. But
so
8 hours
really make no money in 2013.
Exactly. But it's just a lot of money.
You know what? If you feel that strongly about Buffett, we can go with it. I don't necessarily believe it's the right answer, but I'm willing to go with it if it feels more fit to you.
It feels fit enough, I'll say.
Okay.
Not that Warren Buffett is necessarily fit, but neither is our other option. So
yeah.
Should we do Warren Buffett or just Buffett? And then maybe if it is Jimmy Buffett, we're still covered.
Sure.
Sure.
He does love those cheeseburgers in paradise, man.
It's true. It's true. We'll lock in Buffett.
Philip?
Okay, so we locked in, and we locked in with Warren Buffett, and the reasoning behind it is because, like Adam said, he lives, for a billionaire, a pretty simple life. And also, the other reason is because he's always on these list of, I was telling Jonathan this, he's always on these list of earning a lot of money per day and per hour, because his money he gets all his money through capital gains. It's all money from investments. Berkshire Hathaway is just a holding company, and he doesn't he doesn't get a salary. He hasn't gotten a salary in decades. He just is chairman of a holding company, basically. And that's really like Trump, what you're, Carmela, you're saying doubts that he's a billionaire. All his money is based in real estate and in his name. Like, he values his name as a billion, and you can't earn interest off your name. You can't earn interest off, non-liquid funds. We locked in with Warren Buffett primarily because of the whole how much he's making per hour.
About halfway through that answer, I was reminded when he started talking about wet money that Philip is in the financial industry. I was like, oh, yeah, no, he knows stuff about money. Okay.
I used to be in finance. I started out working for financial advisors until I figured out, I don't want to be a financial advisor myself.
Yeah.
I want to do something different. So.
For sure.
Understood.
All right, Chris, tell us, are we right or wrong?
All right. Well, this man reportedly goes to McDonald's every single morning to buy a $1 Egg McMuffin. His name is Warren Buffett.
All right.
I had no idea he did that.
Yes.
I don't really pay attention to Warren Buffett. That's probably why, but thank you for talking me out of that other answer,
It's a
Adam.
cheap breakfast right there. A $1 McMuffin. That's hard to beat.
Mm-hmm.
True. That's how you get to $1 billion, right?
That's right.
Gotta do that 1 billion days or something.
All right. Your second question in round 3 is, Michael, row your boat ashore. And the question is, at 3,288 miles, what state has the longest shoreline in the lower 48 states? Again, the question is, at 3,288 miles, what state has the longest shoreline in the lower 48 states?
We're locked in.
So, Philip, I'm a little concerned that Chris didn't clearly say oceanic or not, but I wouldn't be surprised if the right answer is Michigan, because Michigan has a giant peninsula that's similar to the size of Florida and the Glove, but then it has the whole upper peninsula with all the different juts in and out and the crags and that kind of stuff. And there's a lot of extra shoreline when it comes to that, while Florida's is pretty smooth.
Right. But I mean, I think Florida is, at least the peninsula part, I think covers a lot more than the Glove of.
It's longer. It's the Glove versus the Dingus of Florida. I gotta say, Florida's is long.
It's a thumb that's on the hand of America.
Okay, America's thumb is. I think Florida.
That's a weird looking penis.
I think Florida is longer for sure, but I honestly don't think Chris asks the question if the answer is Florida, because it's a super obvious answer. So that's what leads me to Michigan.
And Chris, you said it's the longest in the lower 48?
I said at 3,288 miles, what state has the longest shoreline in the lower 48 states?
Yeah, because it would definitely be Alaska if it was all 50.
I'll defer to you, Jonathan. I'll go on with your guess in Michigan.
All right, we're gonna say Michigan and hope I'm right. Otherwise,
okay.
I feel bad.
All right, Carmela and Adam.
We were talking it out, and I was saying that that Maine actually has a really jaggedy coastline. It's got a lot of bays and inlets, and it sticks out pretty far off the coast, and it's way bigger than people imagine it is.
Yeah, and when we talked about Florida is pretty straight up and down. So there's not a lot of, moving in and out as far as coastline. So I agreed with Adam. So we said Maine.
Okay. And the state that we're looking for is the great state of Michigan.
Nice job, Jonathan.
Yeah, you said coastline. I went straight to ocean. Didn't think about lakes.
Yep, I thought shore. Yeah, I thought, because you said shoreline, right? And I thought coastline and not shoreline.
Yeah.
I've run across, I feel like I must have run across that trap before. I feel like I've been in that trap before and missed it. So that led me to it.
I was trying to be very careful with my wording on that. So,
and I was being careful not to ask for clarification. Because in my heart I wanted clarification,
Jerk
but
face.
I knew if I asked for it, it would give it away. Yes, my face is slightly jerk.
all right.
Look like jerk chicken.
Jerk chicken, the Trivial Warfare episode. All right.
Jerk chicken. It's what I do at the door before I let people into a party.
Whoa.
What are you doing up here?
Whoa.
Jerk chicken. Checking for jerks.
Okay. All right. Your last question before the midpoint is the category is fear factor. And the question is, what is hedonophobia the fear of? And the way you spell it is HEDONOPHOBIA. What is hedonophobia the fear of?
All right, we're going to lock in.
Well, we're starting out with hedonists because that's almost like fear of hedonists. And Adam, you think it's the same root, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think it's a situation of if it's not related to hedonism, then I don't know what it's related to. And so
right. No, that's true. I'm with you. It's got to be the same root. And like I said, I know it's not going to be the fear of naked people, of nudity, because that's gymnophobia, because we've had that question a lot. So fear of pleasure, like, because hedonism is like excess pleasure. But I mean, I don't want to knock anyone who's got this, but that's a really weird fear.
Yeah, because my other instinct, I was thinking like maybe it's related to pain, but I don't necessarily associate hedonism with pain.
No, not unless it's in a BDSM kind of category.
Beautiful agony kind of way.
Yeah. Which I'm sure hedonists do.
Yeah.
But I would probably lean more pleasure than something like that, because I think that covers a broader category.
Yeah. It could be the fear of lack of knowledge, like he don't know phobia.
Speaking of dad jokes.
that even tops my dad joke.
No, he didn't. Oh, no, he don't.
Yeah. I'm
so
just,
it sounds
I'm
like we've reached the end of what it is.
Yeah, good ideas might be gone. I can't find any roots in there or anything.
Yeah, other than the hedonism connection, which would lead to pleasure, fear of pleasure.
I say let's go for it, and if it's wrong, then it's right in our hearts.
That's right. Fear of pleasure.
Okay. Jonathan and Philip.
So my dad joke was, when I immediately said to Jonathan, it was a fear of hedons.
So yeah, honestly,
it's not technically wrong.
It's technically right on the money. We made the same connection, and God, I mean, if it is a real thing, then that is a tough one to have. That would suck.
I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, we said fear of pleasure, word for word.
Well, as everybody got a hold of, hedonism is the pursuit of pleasure. Hedonophobia is the fear of feeling pleasure. Points all around. Well done, everybody.
Yay. And we don't have it because we're happy about this.
That's right.
All right. So going into the midpoint, Philip and Jonathan still are in the lead with 90 points, pitching a perfect game. Carmela and Adam are 20 points behind with 70. And your midpoint is The Tonight Show. For 5 points each, name the first guest to appear on the following late-night talk shows. The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. The Tonight Show with Conan O'Brien. And The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. And I will say each of these are very well-known people.
So they probably had multiple people appear on those shows? Like, I know Fallon had more than one person on the first episode. So what do you mean?
The very first guest.
Okay, so it's not like the main guest of a show is usually the last one. So you mean the first person they talk to?
No, the main person on a show is usually the first person on the show is usually the main person they talk to, Jonathan.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't understand how TV works then.
I guess not. Okay. But no, it's their very, very first guest. And okay. Carmela lost it. Carmela's gone.
What's going on? What's funny is she's floating in space.
She is. She's a cosmic being.
I'm so sad.
This would be a lot easier if we knew their initials or something. Or even just their last name, right? And then we could guess their first one.
We're locked in.
I like your thought, Philip. That last thought just now, I like that.
Well, tell us about it.
So we tried to hone in on the years and go from there. Philip was confident or somewhat confident that Will Ferrell was a match for Conan O'Brien, so we're good with Will Ferrell. We 50-50'd between Timberlake and Beyonce for Jimmy Fallon, and I pushed for Beyonce, so we're going that direction. We're going to do Tom Cruise for Leno, just randomly looking for the biggest stars of the early 90s. And I would have said Tom Hanks, but it was a couple of years before he really blew up. Then the last one, Philip just suggested Frank Sinatra for Jimmy Carson, and that sounds like a great answer for the late 60s, so we'll do that. So
who's Jimmy Carson?
Johnny.
I mean, some guy down the street, probably.
Some dude, man.
There's some guy named Jimmy Carson listening like, I'm Jimmy Carson.
It really does tell you about the state of late night right now that there are 3 late night hosts named James.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. So yeah, we said Sinatra, Cruise, Ferrell, Beyonce.
Okay. And Carmela and Adam.
Well, none of our answers match. I don't know if that's good or bad.
We didn't even say any of those names.
I mean, we're literally just throwing names up against time periods.
Yeah, so we did the same thing, trying to nail down when they were on. Leno was on in the 90s. Conan was on very briefly in the 2000s. Well, Adam felt fairly confident that Obama was the first guest for somebody. Oh. So we put that on Fallon. I remember Joan Rivers being a very frequent guest on Johnny Carson. She hosted for him a couple times. So we went with Rivers for Carson. We had no idea for Leno. We thought it'd be funny if he interviewed David Letterman.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah. They hate each other or hated each other.
Yes.
Well, that would be funny to me. Anyway, and then
we would have watched.
Could totally see Conan having Leno on for his first guest.
Oh, that's a good answer.
So we went Rivers, Letterman, Leno, and Obama.
Okay. Well, this sucks for our question writer because unfortunately nobody got any of them right.
Chris, you really didn't give us a lot to work with, brother.
Well, I did because Groucho Marx was Johnny Carson's first guest, and that was a question that was asked on the show about 15, 20 episodes ago. So that's on you, Jonathan. Jay Leno's first guest was also his last guest on The Tonight Show, and that was Billy Crystal. Conan O'Brien's first guest is probably the most awkward interview that any late-night talk show host has ever had with anybody, and that was with Robert De Niro. And you got to go out and watch this clip if you get a chance, because Robert De Niro did not want to be there. He did not want to be there at all, and it was so totally about as awkward as me having a 0 on the midpoint question for everybody. It feels awful. Awful. And then Jimmy Fallon had Will Smith as his first guest.
Oh, Will Ferrell. Will Smith. No. We were close.
Not really.
No.
So sadly, after the midpoint, the scores have not changed, 90-70. Hopefully, Chris will rebound with the next batch of questions. So there we go.
Didn't lose any ground, man.
Yeah, that's true.
If it makes you feel better, it took me halfway through our discussion to figure out that Conan O'Brien had ever hosted The Tonight Show.
Yeah, from 2009 to 2010, when because the ratings were slumping so bad, NBC just completely jerked it out of them and gave it back to Leno.
Well, they also put Leno on, and to undercut him, they put Leno on like 4 nights a week at 10 p.m.
Hey, everybody, this is Jonathan. Before we get on with the second half of today's game, I want to let you know that today's episode is sponsored by Every Plate. So Every Plate is an awesome meal box delivery service, and you might be asking yourself, I wonder why Jonathan is advertising for Every Plate now instead of HelloFresh. But what you may not know is that HelloFresh and Every Plate have combined. They are one big company now. So I'm not saying anything negative about HelloFresh. I'm just highlighting another part of a bigger puzzle. And this is an awesome puzzle because right now, none of us really want to go to the grocery store, do we? The idea of having somebody send me pre-measured food with easy recipes to follow at my doorstep is awesome right now. And every plate can do that, but they can do it for less. See, every plate dinners are the cheaper alternative to takeout or delivery. Every meal is like 1 cup of coffee. I mean, I've said that. Let me say that differently. I'm hungry. What would I rather have? A $5 cup of coffee? Or, let's say, sauteed stir-fried chicken? I want the chicken. And I can get that with every plate. Every plate gives you contactless delivery right to your doorstep for easy home cooking on a budget. I've had the food. It's great. Sebastian has his favorites. I have my favorites. I've had honey glazed chicken. I've had stir fry. I've made beef tips. Guys, there's lots of really cool stuff you can do. And because you're a listener of Trivial Warfare, you can enjoy your first week of Every Plate meals for only $3.99 per meal by going to everyplate.com and using the code TWA1. That's right, enjoy your first week of Every Plate meals for only $3.99 per meal by going to everyplate.com and using the promo code TWA1. And if you think that, hey, they don't deliver where I'm at, double check, because they're always expanding their shipment areas. Go to the website and put your zip code in and see if they ship to you now, because it might have changed. All right, let's get on with the second half of today's game.
So your round 4 question 1 category is Chris absolutely destroys a hit.
Just kills it dead.
It kills it dead. That's right. And I want to say thank you to Michael Turner for this suggestion. I was struggling on what song to figure out for this, and Michael came in for me and said, hey, I think this would be fun. All right. So this song reached number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart in 2001. Can you name it? In the club on the late night, feeling right, trying to spot something real nice. Looking for a little shorty I notice so that I can take home.
Oh my God. That was the best ever, dude. That was the best.
So I will do the words again, and then I will sing it just for Jonathan's humor one more time.
No, my humor has been satisfied. Please, I'm good. Yeah, no, we're all good.
So the first line, in the club on the late night, feeling right. Second line, looking, trying to spot something real nice. And the last line, looking for a little shorty I noticed so that I could take home.
Looking for a little shorty I notice so I can take home?
That I could take home.
We're locked in.
Wow.
Yeah, Jonathan, we can lock in as well.
The hell we can. You got to talk to me about it first.
You don't trust your partner?
What? No, I don't. We can talk. What is it?
Oh, Nelly, Ride With Me.
Oh, are you a big Nelly fan?
No, but 2001, that's like peak me listening to music. That's senior year of high school and freshman year of college for me.
You know what? If you're Nelly's biggest fan, then I'm not going to argue with you. We'll go with you and your Nelly love.
I'm not Nelly's biggest fan. I know Nelly's a former Charlotte resident who has some infamous dealings here in Charlotte. So, but that's my only Nelly connection. But I'm pretty confident on this one, Jonathan.
All right, let's do it. So, what was the name of the song? We were looking at the song or the artist song, right?
Nelly, Ride With Me.
Okay. Or With Me with W-I-T?
Yeah, W-I-T.
All right, and Carmela and Adam.
Adam was right there, and I agreed with him. It's in the club on the late night, feeling right. It's Ride With Me. It's Nelly.
Yeah, it could be sitting first class, paying cash, sitting next to Vanna White.
And the answer is yes, indeed. It is Nelly, and it is Ride With Me. Well
Philip
done.
With the hidden skills, by the way. Big time right there.
Yeah,
Must be the money.
Usually when no, with that, usually it's a race between Scott, Barbara, and I to try to figure out song lyrics.
Wow, I love it.
So Michael's words basically were like, I think this would be funny, Chris, if you could do it. So anyway.
Your rendition was the best version that I've heard of making something unrecognizable by the way it was sung.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
It was completely unrecognizable.
It was a beautiful thing.
It was beautiful, and what made it beautiful was that it was like a real song. Like you were being actually singing it. It wasn't like the Chris murders a hit or Ben murders a hit where you like intentionally like try to throw it way off. It was like you were actually singing a song, just way different than the actual song.
There you go.
And as low as I felt about the midpoint, I feel so good now. This is awesome. All right. So your question number 2 in round 4 is in sports ball. And the question is, in 2009, it was the first time that an NFL quarterback won a playoff game over the age of 40 years old. I want you to name him.
Playoffs?
I know, right? And in 2009, it was the first time that an NFL quarterback won a playoff game that was over the age of 40 years old. Name him.
Is 2009 the year of the season, or is it the year of the playoff game?
You know what? Can you give me just a moment to check? I believe that was the year of the season, but I need to verify real fast. Can you give me just a moment, please?
Yep.
Thank you.
Just want to know what year the game was actually played in.
Fair enough. Okay, it was the 2009 season. The game was played in 2010.
All right. Yeah, we can lock that in, Philip.
Okay.
I had a joke answer for you that I was about to write in, Adam. I was going to say, what about old Dan Marino?
Yep.
So here's where we're at right now. I initially said Elway, because I feel like he played for a super long time. Adam, you believe he had retired by then.
I feel like he retired immediately after winning a Super Bowl.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Against the Packers, I want to say it was.
Right. And like I said, me thinking about Manning doing it pretty recently is probably what had me stuck in Denver.
Yeah.
But I really like your suggestion of Brett Favre, because he's just retired 18,000 times.
Yeah. I mean, he certainly played past 40. And Packers, I'm questioning if he was like on. Far. Yeah, was he on the Vikings at that time?
Oh, that's a good point.
My thing is, I just don't know if he won a game or made it to the playoffs.
Right. I'm just thinking about, Packers do pretty well most seasons.
Yeah. And I've been trying to sort of run through teams and who are or can I name a quarterback? I'm not the biggest sports guy. But,
I'm definitely not.
But I just feel like if a quarterback was over 40 years old, I feel like I should be able, or, the name should ring a bell at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that would have been news. It'd be great if I knew how old Brett Favre was now.
Yeah, probably 10 years or so older than he was at the time.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
It's good math. It's good math there. Yep. I don't know if I'm going to come up with anything better than that, though.
Yeah, I don't know either.
And considering that neither one of us have really any leads in sports, I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on it. I think your pull of Favre is going to be our best bet.
Sure, let's go for it.
All right.
Maybe it'll do us a favor and be correct.
Yes, let's try that.
All right. So what was y'all's answer? I'm sorry.
Favre.
Okay. And Jonathan and Philip.
Philip?
Yeah, we also said Brett Favre. We did it, a couple ways. Like that was the first one. I think that we both, that was our initial thought. Both of us separately, and then Jonathan, also did some math, but not the dad joke math like Adam, but the math of he came into the league in 91 at the age of 22 or 23. Then you add on, 18 to that for 91 season to 2009 season, and you're looking at 40 or 41 years old. So we said Brett Favre.
Wow. See what happens when you actually know stuff about sports?
Yep.
He was Brett Favre was a backup quarterback for the Falcons when I was a Falcons fan at the time. He was backing up Chris Miller. Good job, Falcons. You traded him for nothing. Well done.
Do you know who? I'm pretty sure this was Brett Favre. Who his first completed pass was to?
I think it
Brett
was
Favre.
to himself.
Yeah, Brett
Yeah.
Favre.
It bounced off somebody and he caught it and ran.
Are you serious?
I'm pretty sure that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So this was a question that someone had asked on Facebook, and not in the group, but just in general. Like, what movie did you see way too young?
Something about Mary.
Mine was Something About Mary, because I was with my mom and my stepdad, and because that was 97, so I wasn't even 10 yet because it was the summer. And so they didn't know like all the stuff that was going down in that movie when they took me. And so that's really how I know who Brett Favre is because of that movie.
That movie hit me at just the right time of immaturity. I can honestly say that is the hardest I've ever laughed in my life. I came very close to death that day.
Whoa. Wow.
When they did the beans above the Franks joke.
Oh.
I'm telling you, man, I was having a hard time maintaining my upright nature. I was falling down.
Jonathan was peeing in his pants.
Yes.
All right.
Don't zip them up too fast, though.
No.
I know, right? Would you like to answer, everybody?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So the playoff game I said was in 2010. It was with the Minnesota Vikings, and it was Mr. Brett Favre.
Good job, Philip.
Brett Favre. All right.
Yay,
So 10 points for everybody. All right. Your third and final question in the fourth round is, I'm going to need to see a doctor's note for that. And the question is, former Detroit Tigers pitcher Joel Zumaya missed 3 games in 2006 because he injured himself playing what video game?
Yep. We're locked in.
Ooh.
I like your answer too. Oh no!
What did you both give answers that you liked?
Confident,
Yes.
and then I saw your answer. I was like, "Ooh, that is the exact right time for that." Actually, now that I think about it,
No, wait.
it's not the right time.
No. You're right, because the Wii didn't come out until my 19th birthday, which is in November. So, yeah, it's Guitar Hero.
Yeah, and we definitely came out 2006. It was just in the crossword recently.
Yeah. I just remembered it because, like, it was a Sunday and, like, nothing comes out on my birthday. So I'm like, wow, the Wii came out on my birthday. So it's weird. So, yeah, you're right. It's Guitar Hero.
And I think it's Guitar Hero, and hopefully not like Rock Band or Guitar Hero 2 or something.
Rock Band didn't come out till 2007.
Oh, there we go.
All right. So
Nice when
Philip
you
and
know
Jonathan.
something about it, isn't it?
Yep. Video games, I'm there, man.
Not that one. 2007. That was a year later. Holy crap. Philip and I were on top of it. I think we've both heard this question before.
Well, not just that, but this is one of the ones I know a lot about because 2006 Tigers were one of my favorite. If you want to look at like one sports team in like 1 year, that's one of my absolute favorites. I went to a lot of their games that season. So I still live in my hometown, Toledo, Ohio, and like I would just like talk to friends. We're like, hey, and this is the first year the Tigers were good since like '87. Literally, like they had gone to like 20 horrible per year. Yeah,
I heard that was a very good year.
Yeah, almost won the World Series. They're close, but stupid Cardinals.
Certain birthday.
Or birth.
Day of birth.
It was a birthday. It was a day of the birth.
But no, Jonathan and I, we both answered it at the same time. It was Guitar Hero.
All right. And the answer is Guitar Hero. Well done, everybody. But yeah, during Zamaya's rookie season, the 100-mile-per-hour right-hander injured his right wrist while playing the popular video game, and he missed 3 games. He still ended up appearing in 62 games with a 1.94 ERA and 10.5 strikeouts per 9 innings. Yeah. That's nuts.
It wasn't just him, too. He wasn't even the closer. I think Fernando Rodney was a closer that year.
Yeah,
I believe you're right. Bullpen was incredible.
Yeah. All right. So after 4 rounds, Philip and Jonathan still in the lead, 120 to 100 over Carmela and Andy or Adam. Wow, I keep trying to call you the wrong name, Adam. I'm so sorry.
I respond to everything.
Andy Fry.
Hey, you.
All right, that guy. All right. So your round 5 question 1 category is you gotta fight for your right to vote. And your question is, what famous American was sentenced to pay $100 for voting in the 1872 presidential election? After this fine was levied, they said, I shall never pay $1 for this unjust penalty.
Okay, Chris, we're going to lock in.
All right, cool.
I really do think it's going to be a suffragette. The time frame is pretty good for the beginning, the ramping up and beginning of the women's suffrage movement. So I gave you two options, Elizabeth Cady Stanton or Susan B. Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
I feel more strongly about Cady Stanton than I do about Anthony. But what were you thinking?
So I will say my first interpretation of the question was that it was more of like a poll tax than a fine for a criminal offense,
right?
Which led me towards somebody who was sort of legally trying to vote, but had to, pay some sort of fee to do that. But I like the idea more that it's somebody who was attempting to vote, but was not legally allowed to. And that's why they were actually sentenced to pay a fine.
Yeah. The wording there is what leads me to it's someone who's not allowed to vote.
Yeah.
And poll taxes were technically legal. I do believe it's going to be a suffragette. So do you feel better about Cady Stanton or Anthony?
I am totally good with either one of them.
I think Elizabeth Cady Stanton came first in the movement. So I think I would want to go with her.
Sure.
All right. So we're going to say Cady Stanton.
Okay. And Jonathan and Philip.
So my initial like right when you finished reading the question, Chris, I sent to Jonathan Susan B. Anthony, and I remember Susan B. Anthony was actually on trial, and like she appealed the conviction, and like went on for like a long time, over $100, and it was all because she wasn't allowed to vote. So because of that, that's why we locked in with Susan B. Anthony.
Okay. Well, there was a clue in it with it saying, I shall never pay $1 for this unjust penalty. This person was on the 79 and 81 $1 coin, and that is Susan B. Anthony.
That makes sense.
Hidden clue in there.
Nice.
That's good.
I should have thought more about that. I'm sorry, Adam.
No, it's all good. And I was even just about to make a joke about how she could, pay the fine using currency with her own face on it.
Right?
Didn't even put together that meant that she was probably the answer.
Yep.
All
right.
Chris, I'm going to say this, and it's going to sound mean, but I didn't expect that out of you, and I'm very impressed.
Oh, the clue?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. I'll take that. I'll take that.
Kudos for you, man. That was good. By the way, the suffragette storyline in Mary Poppins surprised me as an adult as I'm watching.
Oh, did you forget about it?
As the first time I saw Mary Poppins as an adult, and there's like a whole song about Sister Suffragette and Winifred Banks being a key part of that movement. Like here, we're going to do such and such to the mayor's house. And as an adult, I'm like, holy crap, look at this whole storyline in here. I didn't even comprehend it as a kid. It's really great.
That's awesome. All right. Your question 2 in round 5 is in fast cars. And the question is, the Lamborghini has what angry animal on its emblem?
Yeah, lock that in, Philip. Or I'll do it.
Right.
We're locked in, Chris.
Are y'all locked in? Okay. I was waiting. All right. So Adam and Carmela, go ahead.
I feel like it might be a bull.
I kept thinking like it's not a stallion. It's not a stallion.
No,
it's
that's
not
a Ferrari. That's absolutely a Ferrari.
And then I just could not move past it.
Yeah.
Bull feels pretty solid.
You locking in with not a stallion?
Not Megan.
Darn it.
Matt Riddle.
Yeah. I could picture it being a bull. I mean, of course, now if you like name an animal, I could just picture it on the car somewhere.
An anteater.
Yeah.
The logo has a tongue that goes all the way up the hood of the car.
I watched a lot of British television, and Top Gear is one of the shows I watched a lot. And I feel like that's what the emblem looked like when they did the shots of the cars. That's the first thing that came to mind. Like, oh, it's a bull.
Yeah, and I would say if we're it's an angry animal, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Unless it's a bird, right? And it's going after some pigs.
It's a goose.
Yeah.
Man, geese are dicks.
For sure.
Like Untitled Goose Car or something.
Yeah. No, I feel pretty good about bull, and being bullheaded or anything like that kind of fits with being angry.
Yeah.
So, okay, cool. Bull.
Okay.
My favorite character on Night Court. We went with bull.
All right. You guys took the bull by the horns. The answer is a raging bull.
Woo.
All right. Nice pull there.
All right. Your final category in round 5 is in literature.
Literature.
books.
And your question is, what famous playwright was the first to use the word assassination in literary form in 1605?
All right, we'll go ahead and lock in.
Okay.
Yeah, you have no idea what I'm talking about, do you?
No.
Oh, okay.
But
Like, his name begins with an M. I can't remember Charles M. No, but I mean, this has got to be Shakespeare.
yeah, I mean, 1605 was definitely, he was still writing then. Started like late
Definitely.
15 or mid 1590s.
Yeah, this is definitely Elizabethan era. This is, I liked your idea that it was probably in Julius Caesar. Yeah, it's got to be old Billy Shakes.
Yeah. And he did write a whole bunch of sonnets.
He did. He surely did. And if it's not Shakespeare, like I said, Chris has a really weird definition of the word famous.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm good with Shakespeare with this.
All right, we're going to say Shakespeare.
Okay.
I mean, Shakespeare is known for adding so many words to the English language. That's a clue in and of itself. Is the other guy you're trying to think of Mallory or something like that?
No,
it's his the competitor or the other
right.
guy.
It's the one that like well
Marlowe,
actually maybe
yes, Philip
Marlowe. That's it, Philip Marlowe. Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, we went with Shakespeare too. If it's not Shakespeare, it's crap.
Well, it first appeared in the in Macbeth, and it is in fact Billy Shakes.
Nice.
I love that, by the way. I think it was you. I don't know if it was you, Carmela, that introduced me to the term Billy Shakes, but it cracks me up every time. Every time. The tale of Billy Shakes.
Billy Shakes.
Here, let me give everybody 10 points for Ravenclaw and Slytherin on that one, and we'll continue on. So,
Philip, what's your house?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Your Harry Potter house.
Oh, I
don't have one?
I don't know.
Adam, what about you?
I live in a 3-family.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Chris, go ahead.
Yep.
On
All
a
right,
boarding mission.
Okay, sounds good. After 5 rounds, Philip and Jonathan still in the lead, and they pushed it up a little bit more, 150 to 120. So now everybody that has heard me do a Trivial Warfare episode knows what round 6 is. Yes, it is the man, the myth, the trivia writing legend, Rob Warman round. I still have over 100 questions in my inbox from Rob, so we'll still be going on with the Rob Warman rounds for a very long time after this.
How he studies.
I know, it's
awesome.
amazing. The dude is he's the machine. He's the machine without being
Jefferson. You can't do that. That's a used nickname. You got to be original.
How about the okay, anyway.
He's already got trivia writing legend, prolific trivia writer. He's got enough
prolific
nicknames.
trivia writer. That's what it was. Prolific trivia writer. I can't remember half the things I call him. But anyway, thank you, Rob, for these rounds. I appreciate it. And please take care of yourself up in the Minnesota area. Okay, bud? All right. So your category in round 6, the first one is, I didn't know that. And your question is, what 2-word term is used to describe a gift that is painfully expensive to maintain but cannot be discarded? This idiom dates back to the importance of certain animals among Southeast Asian monarchs.
Y'all, Adam's dad joke game is strong. We're locked in.
All right, cool.
So, Philip, I mean, I agree that that's a potential animal, but as an idiom, how would it sound? How would it be used? Because I've never heard it used in an idiom.
Well, I've heard it used mostly with family or close friends, like giving gifts to each other. And that's where I've heard the term white elephant being used. And
so, yeah, I've heard of white elephant gifts, but that's not an idiom. Like an idiom would be trying to avoid the elephant in the room. That's an idiom, right? Or what's another?
I guess I've always just equated to like a gift or possession that is laborious and that you don't want, but you can't get rid of, or else you'll be judged for it. And I've always associated that with white elephant. And if it's Chris's question, and I think it's that's just where I feel. That's where my mind, and that was my immediate first answer when Chris read the question.
Yeah, it was my first answer too, honestly. Chris, did you say Indian or Southeast Asian?
It says this idiom dates back to the importance of certain animals among Southeast Asian monarchs.
Okay, so elephants for sure, right? Were they?
Well, and white elephant, I'm assuming that'd be like albino, like rare.
Right.
So,
but it's no harder to take care of.
Right. Well, elephants.
Have you ever taken care of an elephant?
You've seen me, right? I call it self-care.
Oh,
that's mean. Don't make me come over there.
Rhinoceroses, ostrich. I'm trying to think of if we can name an animal and it pulls up an idiom in our head, then I would feel good about it. Like white elephant, I'm aware of as a concept. It doesn't pull up an idiom in my head. Like there's no phrase that you say that's like, oh man, that gift's a real white elephant. You don't say that.
I mean, people could.
With an idiom, though, you should. It should be a well-known phrase. Otherwise, it wouldn't be an idiom. Like an 800-pound gorilla would have been a thing, but it's a joke. It's not an idiom either. I just wish I could come up with an alternative, because as it is, I'm just standing here thinking that I don't feel like it's right, but I'm not offering a better option right now. Could it be a panda? Like, aren't pandas notoriously hard to keep around, to keep alive? Is there an idiom for a panda bear?
I can't think.
I can't think of one either. I don't know. I don't have a better answer. So if we can do white elephant.
Okay.
Yep. All right, Chris, we locked in with white elephant.
Okay. Carmela and Adam.
I initially said gift horse, but Adam was like, no, something with an elephant. I was like, oh, white elephant. I didn't say this in the chat, but I was thinking about it as we were sitting here. When I do white elephant gifts, or white elephant exchanges with other people, there's usually like one gift that ends up getting recycled every year because no one can get rid of it.
Yeah.
Or like, all right, I had this for the year. Now it's time for someone else to have it. And
it's the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah. But yeah, we said white elephant.
All right. The answer is white elephant.
Wow.
Well done.
Oh,
I should have got
I'm
that
sorry.
earlier.
Yeah, for us, for me and some friends in my area, the white elephant is a Justin Bieber ornament, Christmas ornament that seems to get passed around. It is this ugly light blue Justin Bieber ornament. So thankfully, it's not in my possession this year.
At one of the work ones, among the leadership team, there's a Christmas card with our CEO's picture in it, and that's the one that gets passed around.
That's awesome. That's so good.
I was going to do this. I had this idea last year, and I couldn't go through with it because I didn't make it to my family Christmas. So that's where I do white elephant. I want to do a framed picture of myself.
That's
a
awesome.
white elephant
Signed?
president.
Signed?
No, just like a portrait.
Oh, dude, you should totally do a signed picture. Hey, I'm famous. I'm a Hall of Famer.
You should do it like that, like the meme where do a glamour shot style while you're holding one of the cats.
Oh my God, that would be incredible.
Oh, full 80s, like bad sweater.
Yeah.
Like something that looks itchy as hell. And then you're going to have to grow your hair out.
Looking up.
This is good. I like this.
We need to make this happen.
Yeah.
All right. So your second question in the Rob Orman round. So the category is I want my MTV. And the question is, the original 1981 commercial for MTV included edited footage of what man standing next to an MTV flag?
You challenge me with these questions.
That's good, right?
Not you, Adam.
Oh.
Well, also you. But that's not who I was talking to.
I know what question he asked. Same one Philip asked me.
No, we just have a side game going on.
Yeah, we're playing our own game over here, man. This is what we're doing. So my phone was sideways when I was looking away, and then when I put it back up, it like scrolled all the way back up to where you said Julius Caesar. I'm like, that's not it.
We're locked in, Chris.
Okay, they're locked in. So Carmela and Adam, you can talk it out.
Yeah, so my first instinct was Armstrong, and then Adam hits me with, what about Buzz Aldrin? And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Thank you for inserting doubt into my life. Yeah, Philip did the same thing to me.
Yeah, I was like, I felt real strong, and then just that cast shadow of a storm that's going to delay my launch.
It was a thunderstorm. There was a buzz.
Yeah. There's a buzzer.
Yeah, I mean, if I had a coin, I would flip one, but I'm,
I feel like Armstrong is more famous of the two. I mean, that's debatable, but I feel like they probably would have used Armstrong.
Yeah, I guess it's just whatever there was footage of.
True. It's real hard to tell them apart with those helmets on.
Absolutely. Well, and plus, I mean, they could have doesn't have to be either of them, right? Like, it's whoever was walking by the set at the time.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, them fighting words.
Stanley Kubrick was busy that day.
Yeah. Yeah. All right,
yeah, I agree that Aldrin is a bit weird. I mean, it'd be a heck of an answer, but I feel like if it's Aldrin, I'm going to be angry because I'm like, why would you say Aldrin when Armstrong's the more famous one? Aldrin's still alive though. I feel like Armstrong's going to be the better answer.
Yeah. And again, there are more Armstrongs out there in the world. So like if it's like Louis, right? Like it can still, it's going back to Buffett, right? We're just hedging our bets.
That's right. He could get a little strange with those outfits sometimes. We're going to say Armstrong.
Right?
Okay. Philip and Jonathan, do you have an answer?
We had the same conversation y'all did. I mean, there's a lot less words, but all the feelings and outcomes were the same. We said Armstrong.
All right. And the answer is Buzz Aldrin.
Wah, wah.
Fella's going to be upset. And except for the midpoint, this is the first time that Philip and Jonathan have missed a question the whole episode.
Man, how do you know that? You know? Good deal. Man. That's cool.
Ran into a buzzsaw.
Like I've heard that somewhere now.
That's one.
No. Oh, that's good. Joke
he
right
took
there.
a little off the top. Chris, that was solid. That's a piece of trivia that you kind of have to learn in order to get it right because you're naturally not going to come as an automatic guess.
I've had that asked at the trivia contest. That's the only reason why I knew it when I read it. So anyway,
so frustrating.
Nice job, Rob Warman. You frustrated people. All right. So your last category in the Rob Warman round is science.
Science.
All right. Armalcolite is a titanium-rich mineral that Americans might find in Texas or Montana. But armalcolite was first discovered in 1969 in what unusual location?
Can you just spell armalcolite, please?
I will. Yep. It is ARMALCOLITE. Armalcolite. And thank you, Rob, for writing out the little how to pronounce it because I would have butchered it.
Okay. Go for it.
Christopher Grant lock in.
All right, cool. They're locked in.
That's not bad, Adam. Talk about that.
Yeah. So, I mean, we just had a question about moon landing, and that happened in 1969. So It could be that they took some samples from the moon and found some armadilloite or whatever that is. And then maybe it's a substance that exists in Texas and Montana because of, I don't know, meteorites or what have you.
Yeah, that makes sense. Also, the Johnson Space Center is in Texas, so maybe they brought it back. That's a good answer. And I'm trying to grasp onto anything else in the question, and the year is the biggest part. I'm cool with it if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, we could sit here for a while and because it's not even just you have to know what the stuff is, right? It's like where did they find it,
right?
Right? Because if I say, it's natural gas, but they found it in, Lyndon Johnson's armpit. Like, probably not going to pull that one.
No.
So,
what is in Lyndon Johnson's underpit?
What's an underpit?
Not much these days.
Oh, okay.
Some dust, maybe.
But the moon feels good. It's a nice callback to that question all those one question ago.
Yeah.
And it feels like
a younger time, a time of innocence.
I've aged since then.
I know.
Yeah, Brett Favre was younger, right? He. It feels like a good answer.
Yeah, look, we're gonna say the moon.
Okay, and Philip and Jonathan.
So, it also could be found on the nice terrain of rural Nevada. But we also said the year fits and the term and the term fits. I've heard that word used before, and we also said the moon.
Okay. Well, Armalcolite is named after 3 individuals: Armstrong, Aldrin, Collins.
Collins. What?
The answer is on the moon. It was named after the 3 Apollo 11 astronauts. Well done, everybody. I'm so proud of you.
By the way, y'all, Philip has been killing this game. I mean, he's pulling me along.
All right. So going into the gauntlet, Philip and Jonathan have 170 points. That's a fantastic score.
Great job,
but Carmela and Adam did not have a schluff score either. They have 140. And your gauntlet category today, folks, is acting brilliant.
Brilliant. All right, Chris, our wager's locked in.
Our wager's locked in.
All right, cool. So before we start the acting brilliant gauntlet category, I want to take a minute to say thank you so much to Trivial Warfare historian Scott Barber, who helped me out with a couple questions in this. So thank you very much, Scott. I appreciate
rigged. Phillips' his teammate.
Yeah, right? This is rigged. Oh, wait. No, this isn't rigged. What are you talking about? Philip's a fine, upstanding young gentleman.
Scott knows I love him dearly.
So your first question in the gauntlet category of acting brilliant is, in the movie Full Metal Jacket, R. Lee Ermey reportedly had 150 pages of insults for his role of Gunnery Sergeant Hartman. What actor played the part of Private Pyle, who bore the brunt of most of those insults?
We're locked in.
We're locked in.
Okay. So your second question, the acting brilliant gauntlet, and this actually comes from Mr. Scott Barber. According to Nichelle Nichols' biography, the actress was planning on leaving her role as Lieutenant Uhura on Star Trek The Original Series after the show's very first season, but was talked out of it at the last minute by the self-proclaimed Trekkie and major influential figure of the 1960s. Again, the question is, according to Nichelle Nichols' biography, the actress was planning on leaving her role as Lieutenant Uhura on Star Trek The Original Series after the show's very first season, but was talked out of it at the last minute by the self-proclaimed Trekkie and major influential figure of the 1960s.
I'm 100%.
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't see that you'd put anything.
Yeah, we're locked in.
Cool.
Philip, you good with me?
Yeah, Jonathan, I'm
cool.
Okay.
It makes the first question
Sounds
so much
good.
more upsetting.
All right, we're locked in.
Okay. And your final question in the gauntlet from Scott Barber. In the 1988 film A Fish Called Wanda, star and writer John Cleese played barrister Archie Leach. Not coincidentally, Archibald Leach is the birth name of what classic leading man who was named by the American Film Institute as the second greatest male star of the golden age of Hollywood, which occurred from 1915 to 1963.
We're going to lock in, Chris.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, we're locked in.
All right. So I'm going to repeat the question. You guys will give the answers. And here we go. In the movie Full Metal Jacket, R. Lee Ermey reportedly had 150 pages of insults for his role as Gunny Sergeant Hartman. What actor played the part of Private Pyle, who bore the brunt of most of those insults? Carmela and Adam, you're going to you first. Carmela's laughing.
It's just like we didn't know. I couldn't tell you anybody other than the gunnery sergeant who was in that movie. We said Mickey Rourke because we didn't know.
Okay, Mickey Rourke. All right, and Philip and Jonathan.
Yeah, we both said Vincent D'Onofrio.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. And the second question in the gauntlet, according to Nichelle Nichols' biography, the actress was planning on leaving her role as Lieutenant Uhura on Star Trek The Original Series after the show's very first season, but was talked out of it at the last minute by the self-proclaimed Trekkie and major influential figure of the 1960s. Philip and Jonathan, we're going to go to you first.
Yeah, I felt strongly that this was Martin Luther King Jr.
Okay. And Carmela and Adam.
I told Adam I knew this 100%, and it made that first question much sadder for me. Martin Luther King Jr.
Okay.
100%.
All right. And the final question. In the 1988 film A Fish Called Wanda, star and writer John Cleese played barrister Archie Leach. Not coincidentally, Archibald Leach is the birth name of what classic leading man who was named by the American Film Institute the second greatest male star of the Golden Age, which occurred from 1915 to 1963. All right, so Carmela and Adam, you all are up.
Again, we didn't know. We had no idea. So we just took a shot and said Clark Gable.
Okay. And Jonathan and Philip.
Philip was all over this.
Yeah, this is one I've just heard before. I'm not sure where I heard it or what. It was just I don't know if it was in a quiz that was all about like real names versus stage names. But
I know we've had it on this show. We've had that.
Oh, you've had it on this show?
I just couldn't remember it.
Yeah, Cary Grant.
Okay. So the very first answer
Same
is
initials.
Carmela, I wrote down Clark Gable too. That was the first name that came to me, and then I was like, "Oh, what about Jimmy Stewart?" Jimmy Stewart's probably the number one guy on that list. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
All right. So the first answer is Vincent D'Onofrio is played Private Pyle. So well done. Nichelle Nichols said that Martin Luther King Jr. helped her to stay on the show because Star Trek was the only show that he allowed his kids to watch.
Wow.
Because of her being on the Enterprise.
That's awesome.
And because of Martin Luther King Jr.'s kids is why she stayed on the show. It's a beautiful story. It's just really, really cool. And Archibald Leach is also known as Cary Grant.
Good job.
So to let you guys know, Humphrey Bogart was the first on the AFI list.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good job.
Consolation
Why didn't you ask that question?
James Stewart was 3.
Okay.
And Clark Gable was 6th. Excuse me. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excuse me. 7th. He was 7th. So.
He deserved better.
Poor Clark.
All right. So to find out what the final scores were, Carmel and Adam, what was y'all's wager?
We thought you were going to go big, and Adam did some math for us because he's the math teacher, and we were hoping that you would bet to lock us out and then get it wrong. So we bet 80. So we're going to end up at 60.
Okay. And Philip and Jonathan, what's y'all's final score end up?
That was the right assumption because we bet to lock you out. We bet 111.
Yeah.
111. All right.
If you had lost, you would have been at 59.
Right. And it was either, and when we were discussing that, it was either going to be bet 0 or bet to lock you out. And I told Jonathan that, just because there are no real stakes at this, I'd rather wager than not wager.
Yeah.
All right. Well, and the final score is Philip and Jonathan 281, Carmel and Adam 60. The winners are Philip and Jonathan. Great job.
Great game, Philip.
Good game.
You killed it.
All right. Jonathan, it's back to you.
Oh, it's me.
Yeah.
Hey, I was thinking about going to the bathroom. I'm tired. I don't know why tired and going to the bathroom had to do anything to do with each other, but those were the two things.
It didn't, but it was nice that you took us on that journey.
Yeah, well, I agree. So before we go, we like to do shout outs and promote causes that we care about. Philip, we're going to start with you, my man.
Okay. A cause I think I promoted before on different Trivia Warfare entities is Colon Cancer Coalition. I'm the local director here in Charlotte. Our event was scheduled for March 28th, and it was canceled. March is Colon Cancer Awareness Month, so the last 3 weeks worth of events were canceled with that, which is a huge chunk of it. And right now we're doing a nationwide virtual event. We're fortunate in Charlotte; we have a lot of local supporters, but nationwide, it's hurt charities a lot. It's one of these things where, everybody is feeling it in terms of financially, but, the needs for people who rely on these charities, they're not stopping, especially the medical ones are not, those needs are not stopping just because, they're not just because they're not in the focus right now doesn't mean that they're not there anymore. So if anybody wants to support it, Colon Cancer Coalition, you can look up Get Your Rear Gear Quarantine Edition that's going on through the middle of June.
Outstanding. Thank you, Philip.
Very cool.
And Adam.
Yeah. One of the impacts or one of the side effects of the major disruptions going on over the last couple months is people have started to take on a new appreciation for the role that public schools play. So definitely support your local schools. Support your teachers. Let's make things happen there.
Darn right.
Well said.
You, as a parent, you don't think about how much work your teachers are doing until you're the one doing it at home, and even then with help. So thank you, big thank you to all the teachers out there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, that is going to wrap up episode 274 of Trivial Warfare. For Philip, for Adam, for Carmela, and Chris, my name is Jonathan, and this has been our pleasure to bring to you. Goodbye, everybody.
Take care, everybody.
Thanks for listening to Trivial Warfare. Be sure to check out the revamped TrivialWarfare.com as your one-stop shop to submit questions, join the community, and get access to over 150 archived episodes. Warm It Up was written and performed by Matthew Stevens. This episode was edited and produced by me, Joel Sharpton. For help with your podcast, visit ProPodcastingServices.com.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Remember that?
I thought you would like that.
I loved it. Are you kidding? I'm just saying. I still got to react that way.
Fair enough.
I think you broke Carmela. She hasn't moved since you did it.
I've stunned her with my siren voice. Are we ready for the next one? Because this is where Chris makes a fool out of himself.
Yeah, let's go.
Wait, so that's different than the halftime round?
Ooh. See, people don't know this about Philip. Philip is secretly shady. Like all the time.
That was hot lava.
Mic drop. Well played, sir. Well played.
That's what they used to call me in high school.
The white elephant?
Yeah.
Or the
I would say I walked
I suggest
into
you
that one,
bleep
but
that
that's
word.
also-
Oh yeah,
I
no,
want anyone's kids.
I'm right there with you. I was bleeping it the whole time.
I don't want anyone's kids going, Dad, what's a like we see when a dad loves himself very much.
It's crazy how well we brought these people together. Adam's a
Adam.
Philip's a I mean, these guys just they go right together.
Oh man.
Yeah.
All right. For those that are listening to the show, do not let your kids listen to the outtakes, please.
That's still getting edited.
Bad.